Good morning. That was pretty good. Did y'all recognize that song? No, some of you did not recognize that song. Holler it out if you know which song that was. Yeah, that was Colors of the Wind, Disney song from Pocahontas. That's right, you get a prize. All right, welcome to the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship. As Unitarian Universalists, we are people of all ages, races, faith traditions, abilities, sexual orientations, gender identities, and national origins. We are an intentionally diverse community, and we are building a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. I am the interim minister here, the Reverend Micah C. Ma, and my pronouns are they, them, and theirs. With me today are worship associate Marilyn Cullison, choir director Tom Cullison, accompanist Megan Smith, whose idea it was to play Colors of the Wind this morning. Shout out to, looks like we have Barb and Karen on tech today. Thank you so much, guys. And we offer a special welcome to those joining us from Zoom land. Cameras back there. Give them a wave. Hello, Zoom. Do we have any visitors in the sanctuary today? Is there anyone for whom it's your first time here? Could you raise your hand? Okay. Do you want to introduce yourselves? We can bring you a microphone. That's if you want to introduce yourself. Okay, I see. No, you need to use the microphone or they can't hear you on Zoom. Yeah, exactly.
My name is Drew, and this is Hope. And George and Janet were here last week, so we were a little late. So.
Oh, hello. You multiplied. Wonderful. Right. Wonderful. Welcome. Is anyone else who would like to introduce themselves this morning? If not, then Social Justice Co-Chair Barb Thomas has some announcements for us. Take your time, Barb. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you. I will pull this together. Okay, we've known from the start of Reverend Ma's time with us that they are our interim minister. They even have their walking stick up here as a reminder that their time here is limited. So we're in the process of searching for our next full-time contract minister. Please plan to stay for coffee with the board after the worship service next week on October 29th. The search committee will share a summary of your feedback from the cottage meetings, give an update on the status of UCF's congregational profile, and discuss the next steps in finding UCF's next full-time contract minister. Search committee members here, would you raise your hand? Tom? It's just you? Miriam's around here somewhere. Okay. Do you have a favorite nature poem that you would like to share, and would you be willing to read it? If so, Susan Roberts and Karen Baggett would love to have you participate in a worship service on November 5th titled Wild Bird Flowing Water, Celebrating Nature and Poetry. If you'd like to be part of it, please talk to Susan or Karen. Susan's not here today, but Karen's over there helping Pat by Tuesday, October 24th. Next Sunday is our Samhain service when we honor our dearly departed. There will be a time for sharing memories, so bring a photo or a memento of a deceased loved one for our ancestral altar. This might be a friend, a relative, or even a pet. Okay, and I have one more announcement. I think that what I'm supposed to say is that we have joined the Carteret County Chamber of Commerce. So we will be able to get our events publicized in their publications, and there are a lot of benefits to that. And now we invite everyone in the sanctuary to please silence their cell phones, and all those on Zoom to turn off their cameras to conserve bandwidth. Thank you.
Now, everyone, please go ahead and turn and greet one another. Say hi to your neighbor, say hi to someone you know, or better yet, someone you don't know yet. Today's opening words are by the Reverend Elizabeth Mount. Come into this place, bringing all you hold with you, though your heart be heavily burdened, whether you be on the brink of tears or burn with unquenchable rage. This community can hold you and your strongest emotions. Yes, even the messy ones are welcome here. Come in if you sing just a bit too loud, if you hold still as statues and just breathe it in, if you sway to the music moving your soul, you are welcome. Come in and say amen when the Spirit moves you. Tell that preacher to preach, yes, that's right, tell us, or close your eyes and quietly let your mind float free on the blessed words. Come into this place with every piece of yourself gathered up, and let us be the church incarnate. Let us bring forth the spirit of all that we love by the words of our mouth and the doings of our hands as we make sacred this time together. Will the people say with me, come, let us worship together.
Our chalice lighting words this morning are by Unitarian Universalist Lee Kinvey. This chalice is for the living, the changing, the becoming. This chalice is for losing the script of your life, the chapters about who you are in other people's stories. This chalice is for the lost GPS that was supposed to show you how to get where they expected you to go. This chalice is for skipping the directions, coloring outside the lines, painting not by number but by silence, by wild abandon. With a brush you made yourself from a light deep inside, startling, vivid, a new voice that already knows you. Finally, a true story. We light also a peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. Please rise as you're willing and able for our opening hymn, number 1051 in the Teal hymnal, We Are.
Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
So, does anybody know what it means to ban a book? Has anyone heard of that before? A couple of people. Can someone explain what it means to ban a book? You can just holler it out loud. All right.
When people are so insecure about some of their beliefs that they have to be afraid of some of the truths that other people might speak, so they try to get rid of it and make sure they're not revealed.
So it's when we decide that a book is bad and we don't want to let other people read that book. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah. Okay. So the book I'm about to read is a book that's been banned in a couple of places. It's called Red by Michael Hall, Red, A Crayon Story. So I'm going to read this book, and the pictures are going to be up here. And afterwards, you can tell me if you think that it was right to ban this book or not. Does that sound okay? Okay. So it starts off with, He was red. Yeah, you see a crayon with a red wrapper. Must mean that crayon is red, right? But he wasn't very good at it. Oh dear. What color is this crayon coloring? Blue. His teacher thought he needed more practice. There's his teacher, Scarlet, saying, I'll draw a red strawberry, then you draw a red strawberry. You can do this, really. And on the next page, but he couldn't, really. So you see the teacher has drawn some red strawberries, and it looks like the crayon has drawn some blue strawberries. His mother thought he needed to mix with other colors. So that's Olive saying, why don't you two go out and draw a nice round orange? Yellow says, a really big one. And red says, a really orange one. So what color do yellow and red make together? Orange. What color do yellow and blue make together? Does anybody know? Green, and that's what we have on the next page. They made a big greenish one. Oops. His grandparents thought he wasn't warm enough. There's this little grandparents there, Silver and Gray, saying, your class is making self-portraits for Parents' Night. You need to wear this warm red scarf. But it so wasn't. You can see everybody's self-portraits. And do you see Red's self-portrait there in the middle with the scarf? Everyone seemed to have something to say. And there's a big row of crayons across the bottom here. Sometimes I wonder if he's really red at all. Don't be silly, it says red on his label. He came that way from the factory. Frankly, I don't think he's very bright. Well, I think he's lazy. Right, he's got to press harder, really apply himself. Give him time, he'll catch on. Of course he will. But he didn't catch on. We see green frog, black sheep, brown cow, red ack. All the art supplies wanted to help. The masking tape thought he was broken inside. The scissors thought his label was too tight. One snip should do it. I thought he wasn't sharp enough. There's him trying to sharpen the crayon. But even with all our help and all his hard work, oh, and there you look, he's trying so hard, he's really practicing. He just couldn't get the hang of it. One day, he met a new friend. This is Barry saying, will you make a blue ocean for my boat? I can't. I'm red. Will you try? So he did. Thank you, it's perfect. You're welcome, it was easy. And he didn't stop there. We have bluebells, blue jeans, blue bird, blueberries, a blue whale. I'm particularly fond of that blue whale. I really like that eye in the blue whale. I'm blue. He was blue, and everyone was talking. My son is brilliant. Who could have known he was blue? I always said he was blue. It was obvious. His blue ocean really lifted me. All of his work makes me happy. His blue strawberries are my favorites. He's so intense. I'm going to make a green lizard with him, a really big one. I hear he's working on a huge new project. He's really reaching for the sky. And he really was. And that's the end of the story. So do you guys think this book needed to be banned?
Of course not.
Yeah, I see a lot of head shaking here. I don't think this book needed to be banned either. And now, every week, we make some space and time to celebrate and commiserate. As a community, we practice doing things together. And that can mean being happy together and being sad together. This is all part of how we come together to be something bigger than ourselves. So in a moment, when the music starts, I invite everyone to line up against the far wall over here. where you see the painting of the triptych, and come around to the front. And whatever happinesses and sadnesses you may have on your heart today, you can pick up a stone or a shell or a piece of sea glass or however many or as few as you like as represent whatever is on your heart, and you can leave them in the beautiful glass chalice of water. If you have a personal joy or concern that you would like me to share with the congregation by reading it aloud, we have some slips of paper there that you can fill out, write down whatever your joy or concern is, and I will read it aloud after I share our community and world joys and concerns. This stone is for Israel and Palestine. If I have not said enough, it may be because there's too much to say, and I feel too much. As some of you know, I have been to that land. I have walked through their metal detectors, and I have eaten at their tables. I have shaken their hands and visited their checkpoints. I have seen the wall. It is the same wall that can be found in Northern Ireland and at our own border. It is a wall of fear and division. Threats are on the rise against both Muslims and Jews around the world, and this we cannot tolerate. There are no sides here, or rather, the only side that we can really be on is the side of humanity, the side of life, the side of peace. As Rabbi Danya Rutenberg wrote last week, the only way home is a dogged refusal to let anyone be dehumanized. And this stone is for our member Caroline Dominguez and her partner Stacy, who will both lose their jobs at the end of the month when the Carteret Local Food Network closes. While they're saddened by this loss for themselves and their family, they are also concerned for our local farmers and those who need access to fresh produce. They're proud to have been part of the CLFN and are looking toward the future. And Adam puts in for Joey Pipkin, please think good thoughts / prayers for all of us blues still wearing red. Will you please all join me in the spirit of prayer? There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. Let's hum it through one time. And now we're going to sing our little ones over to the next building for their fun and games and activity and social time. Will you please join me in the blessing song? It's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what you do when you don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing I was born, and it matters what I do. What I know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty I love be what I do when I don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing we were born, and it matters what we do. What we know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty we love be what we do when we don't have to do it alone. Cha-cha-cha. The cha-cha-cha is optional. Right, and I invite everyone now into a moment of silent reflection and contemplation.
How you doing? I'm Brody. I'm assigned to this office with this beautiful exotic lady.
I'm not exotic. I'm Asian. There are more of us than there are of you, so statistically, you're the exotic one.
What? Wait, what? You heard the statistically average lady.
I've never actually watched that show. I've only seen that clip. So some people like to say, I don't see color. Some of those people may actually be colorblind, but that's a statement that people like to make to explain that they're not racist. So they say, I don't see color, I treat everyone equally. They say, I don't see color, everyone is human, which is nice. I'm not against that. I do enjoy being treated equally as other people, and I appreciate not being exoticized or fetishized like the woman in that video, the statistically average lady. And when you do not see my skin color, there is an entire dimension of me that you are missing, because there are very much parts of my life that have to do with my being yellow, or specifically my being Chinese American. So, for example, because I'm Chinese, sometimes people come up to me and they say ni hao or konnichiwa. Sometimes they ask me where I'm from. Sometimes they assume I don't speak English, which gets embarrassing for them very quickly thereafter. And in the South, I've actually had the new experience of people asking which Native American tribe I'm from. I know, that's a new one for me. Didn't happen before. Because I'm Chinese, I grew up burning paper money at funerals, making food offerings at my grandparents' graves, and celebrating festivals like Lunar New Year and the Moon Festival. Because I'm Chinese, I sometimes get stared at when I go into Captain's Table or Waffle House. Because I'm Chinese, I grew up eating all of my meals family style, meaning, all the food's in the center and you share it. And even in restaurants where the food is not designed to be shared like this, my family will find a way. They will find a way to make it family style. Because I'm Chinese, I grew up unsure if it was okay for me to be gay, because growing up I did not see any gay Chinese people or really any gay people of color at all. All the gay people that I saw on TV were white. Because I'm Chinese, my family members and friends ask me if I feel safe in North Carolina. Many of them have stories about Asian friends or coworkers who lived in the South and did not feel safe or welcome. And because I'm Chinese, I was forced to go to Chinese school as a little kid. I hated it. It was on Saturday mornings. Can you imagine having to go to school on Saturday morning? It sucked. I cried until my parents stopped making me go. And now I regret it, because now I can't read or write Chinese. Because I'm Chinese, I grew up with two systems of medicine, Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. And sometimes we would go to the Western pharmacy, and sometimes we would go to the Chinese pharmacy, and I guess if it was really complicated, sometimes we would go to both. Because I'm Chinese, I feel a connection to China, which is the longest continuous civilization in the world. Take that, Roman Empire. I wasn't born there, but I have visited many times, especially when my parents were living there. When I visited China, when I was in China, I would tell the people there that I'm American, and they would always tell me, "No, you're not. You're Chinese." And because I'm Chinese, my family members sometimes like to remind me, don't think the Americans will ever actually accept you. They won't. They will never see you as truly American. And this next one is speculation. This next one is a guess. That because I'm Chinese, nobody has ever asked me where I go to church. I was told before I moved here that where do you go to church is this common small talky kind of question in the South, and no one has ever asked me that. I think it's because I'm Asian and they assume that I don't go to church, which, joke's on them. So you see, when you tell me I don't see you as a person of color or I don't see you as Asian, what I hear is that there's a large part of me that you might be dismissing. I know that's probably not what you mean. You probably mean I see us as equals, which I understand. And it is possible for both of those things to be true, for you to see us as equals and for you to also miss a very large part of me. And that might not be your fault. You might not know anything about Chinese people, and who would have taught you? But being Chinese is important to me. I'm very proud of being from the longest continuous civilization. And being told, I don't see you as Chinese, sounds to me like my being Chinese is not important to you, which hurts my feelings a little bit, because being Chinese is important to me. So, this will sound like a sudden subject change, but I promise I'll come back. I left California because I wanted to learn how to love people better. I don't think it's possible to love someone without knowing them, and I mean knowing them deeply. Understanding what they love and hate and fear, what makes them tick, what motivates them, and I don't think it's possible to know someone deeply, to really know somebody, without loving them. It all requires knowing, and I wasn't going to get to know people without getting closer to them and spending time with them. So I found an internship in Cleveland, and that was how I moved to Cleveland. And when I saw an opportunity to work at the VA, the Veterans Affairs Hospital there, I took it, because there was a people that I really did not know at all. I didn't know any veterans, I'd never really known any veterans, no one in my family has served. And I wanted to learn how to love them, these people that I did not know at all. And in order to do that, I had to know them. So I spent 2 years at the VA getting to know them, and I learned to love them. And because I love them, I want the best for them. I want them to get the things that they need, and I'll work for those things. I'll go to bat for them. And then when I saw an opportunity to move to rural North Carolina, I took that too. Although I know that by some folk standards, this is not very rural. This is very built up. By my standards, this is pretty rural. This is the most rural place I've ever lived. So I wanted to learn to love the rural South and the people there, and there was no way to do that without knowing them. And so I've spent a little over 2 years here, getting to know the rural South and loving it and the people here. And because I love them, because I love you, I want you to get the things that you need. And I will work for those things. I will go to bat for you. So I've learned how to love people who are very different from myself. And yes, I have found things that we have in common, like maybe we share a sense of duty and responsibility to the world, or we share a love of food, or we love anime. And there are also ways in which we are just different, you know? I've never been to a war zone, and I would like to keep it that way. I don't have PTSD. I've never fired a gun. I've never even held a gun. I'm not sure I've even seen a real gun. No, I've seen real guns. I've never held one. I've never lived on a boat, which I know several people here have done. I've never broken a bone, knock on wood, much less lost a limb. I've never owned my own business. I've never been white, or black, or any race other than Asian. I've never been straight. There are significant substantive differences between myself and, say, a black Vietnam War veteran who's had a foot amputated. There are also significant substantive differences between myself and an upper middle class white woman from Denver, Colorado, who is in a heterosexual marriage and has 2 children. Yeah, there might be similarities between us. There probably are some similarities between us. And the differences should also not be ignored, because those differences are also what make us beautiful and unique and divine. It sounds like I've preached about this before. When was that? Oh, it might have been a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember when we talked about how a garden that was full of only peas would kind of suck? Kind of a crappy garden. Only has peas, only has one kind of flower, right? If we were all the same, the world would be a boring place. And the face of the divine is much more than just one thing. It is all things. So then why claim to not see the differences between us? Do we not agree that a garden of only peas would be boring and suck? Yes? So why claim to not see the differences between us? When we say, I don't see color, or I don't see you as a person with a disability, or I don't see you as transgender, we are rendering invisible those differences. And that comes from a well-intentioned place. I know that it does. It comes from a place of wanting to find common ground. And it erases large, important parts of our identities in favor of a superficial harmony. A harmony that's only skin deep. Is it really harmony if we're just ignoring the differences between us and not talking about them? Is it really love if I do not love all of you? Do I even really love myself if I don't love all of myself? So what is needed in an era of division is not for us to minimize or ignore our very real differences, which are real. It's to acknowledge the differences between us, appreciate them, and then build bridges. There are differences between us, even right here in this room and on Zoom, not forgetting about you, Zoom. This is a pluralistic faith community. We have people from all different faith traditions here, Christians and atheists and agnostics and Buddhists and who knows what else. There are differences between us. And some of them may be irreconcilable. Does that mean we can't still cooperate? No. Can we still build bridges? Yes. Are we all still beautiful people with inherent worth and dignity? Absolutely. So guess what? In case you hadn't noticed, I'm Chinese. It's okay to notice that, and it's okay to mention it, and it's okay to be curious, as long as it's a genuine curiosity born out of wanting to learn more and not because you want to show off or something, or because you want an exotic, friend or partner or whatever. And how amazing is it that we get to be in the same room together, learning about and from one another. The world is full of interesting people and interesting things, and there is always so much more to learn and always so much more to love. And it is hard work, doing all this learning and loving and bridging, but it is necessary. There is no other way to beloved community other than to learn and to love and to build bridges. So one way we're going to practice building a bridge today, maybe just starting with a single plank, is by acknowledging that some of us speak different languages. Some of us grew up, maybe English is not our first language, right? Some of us might have parents for whom English was a second, third, or even fourth language. And so English is the first most spoken language in the United States. What is the second most spoken language? Does anybody know? Spanish, yeah. Over 40 million people in the US over the age of 5 primarily speak Spanish at home. And in 2009, the UUA published Las Voces del Camino with Spanish translations of some of our hymns, including... Oh, my timing's off. We did not practice this, including Spirit of Life. Can we have the next slide? Ta-da! Okay, so how are you guys feeling? Do you feel like bueno? Okay, all right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to just say the Spanish together so that we can get used to making those sounds and shapes with our mouths, okay? So, fuente de amor, ven hacia mí, y al corazón, cántale tu compasión. Sopla al volar, sube al mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arraigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí. And if you're like, oh, my Spanish pronunciation sucks, that's fine, so does mine. For some reason, I took French in high school. Why did I do that? And then in college, I took Chinese because I was trying to get better at Chinese because I didn't go to Chinese school as a little kid. So, it's okay, just do your best. We're all doing their best.
Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí, y al corazón, cántale tu compasión, sopla al volar, sube al mar, hasta morar la justicia de la vida. Arrágame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life,
The winter holidays are a time of bounty for many, and there are also many who are left behind, such as those unhoused, those without family, and those families without means. So in the month of October, we're sharing the plate with our holiday giving traditions. One of those traditions is making gift bags for the clients of Beach House, which is a psychosocial rehab facility in Moorhead City that serves mentally disabled adults. Heather Lawson is here from Beach House to tell us more about what they do and what our gifts mean to them. And Heather, I invite you to come up and talk to us. And thank you in advance for coming.
Good morning. As introduced, I'm Heather Lawson. I'm the associate professional at the Beach House here in our little town of Moorhead City. With Robert Taylor, he's our director, we oversee the Beach House, which, as told, it's a psychosocial rehabilitation that services mentally disabled adults. Some of you might be unfamiliar with what a psychosocial rehabilitation program is. Psychosocial rehabilitation is designed to help members learn skills that will help them live in the community without hospitalization. Some of our clients currently live alone, some live in a group home, some also live with family, friends, or some otherwise legal guardian. I can give you a very wide view of what is a very narrowed day, each day in our program. The individuals are provided what is termed interventions. These are to improve their daily living skills, including socialization skills, educational skills, vocational skills, how to organize their lives, how to stay organized, all while living with their disability. Each client has their specific long-term goal with their short-term goals. We encourage each individual in following plans that are set up by their therapist, primary care physicians, or any other support program that they're with. We strive to work with these professionals in maintaining a consistency in which these individuals can meet their specialized care plan. How do we accomplish this? We provide a very safe and empathetic environment for them to practice these skills as the individuals that they definitely are. At the Beach House, we do maintain routine. That's probably a lot of me. At the same time, we explore the community outside of our little house. Our activities, daily, monthly. We have group sessions in which we talk about various things, basic manners topics, or various things like manners, or things related to mental disorders. We have outings and field trips to various locations, local eateries, ice cream shop in Newport, our bi-weekly trip to Walmart, the aquarium at Pine Knoll Shores, that's only to name a few. We also are involved in community outreach. We are part of Adopt a Block with our town of Moorhead. We have been assigned a block of roadway that once a month we go and take a long walk and pick up trash and keep it clean. And afterwards, we enjoy a nice picnic at the park. Monthly, we also do what's called More Love Letters. That is a website found online that they post about 5 people per month that have been nominated worldwide by their family members or friends, and the concept is for them to receive handwritten mail, cards, just a big stack of mail for whatever they're going through at that time. For me, the reason for the More Love Letters, this allows our clients to step out of their own situation and reach out to others going through rough times. Our clients would probably quote me on a phrase that I say to them a lot, because I hear it on my radio every single day. The world is full of nice people. If you can't find one, be one. Another reason for the love letters is it allows them another chance to see that they are not alone. Sometimes we take a simple walk on a sunny day. And there are times where we just have a movie day, craft day, fun day because it's raining, or we just all want to have a quiet day together. We celebrate birthdays together and we plan holidays together. So that's who we are, that's what we do. So when it comes to this congregation, I know I'm not out of line in how overjoyed each member is in receiving the gift bags yearly at Christmas time. Each of our clients are on a very limited income, very, very limited. They don't even understand the concept or even able to entertain the concept of financial comfort, much less anything extraordinary. They never expect any gifts or act like they're entitled to them. All of you work hard to make these bags happen. I've answered the phone calls each year asking us how many we need, how many are on our roster. We are always given a few more just in case. Thank you, because somehow we usually need that few more. But in personally witnessing their delight, I can tell you without a doubt how much it means to all of them that they're thought of by this circle of people that they've probably never met. I came from Southern California. I was born and raised there. I've been here for almost 22 years. It's not my lifetime. Maybe some of you have been here for your lifetime. But the difference here is there's a church on every single corner. For some reason, this church decided to reach out to our clients. And I don't know why the beach house was chosen, but I know I can speak for all of them, and I can literally imagine every single one of them, even in that picture, exactly what they would say, how they would say it, to thank you very much for what you do. It's beyond words to express how grateful they really are when they get those bags. So thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Will the greeters please come forward?
Please join in blessing this offering with hymn number 402, From You I Receive. The words are on the screen, and we'll sing it twice. From you I receive, to you I give, together I share, from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share. And our chalice extinguishing. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Espanol, extinguimos esta llama para no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevamos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez. And now, before I forget, please don't forget if you're part of UU 101 that will be meeting again today after the service. And now, please rise as you're willing and able for our closing hymn. It's number 305. It says 35. It's really 305 in the gray hymnal, De Coloris.
We'll sing the 3 English verses, then the Spanish verse. All the colors, yes, the colors we see in the springtime and all of its flowers. All the colors, when the sunlight shines out through a rift in the cloud and it showers. All the colors, yes, a rainbow appears when the storm cloud is touched by the sun. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. All the colors, yes, the colors of people parading on by with their banners. All the colors, yes, the colors of pennants and streamers and plumes and bandanas. All the colors, yes, the colors of people now taking their place in the sun. All the colors abound for the whole human round and everyone under the sun. All the colors, yes, the black and the white and the red and the brown and the yellow. All the colors, yes, the colors of people who smile and use hands and say hello. All the colors, yes, the colors of people who know that their freedom is won. All the colors abound for the whole world around and for everyone under the sun. De colores he visto en los campos en la primavera. De colores en los patronitos que vienen de fuera. De colores es algo rojo rico en precisión. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí.
All right, everyone, it is our practice in this community to hold hands for the benediction. If you do not wish to hold hands, you can just move to the center of the circle or amoeba or blob or whatever is about to happen here. Just make it very clear that we don't want to hold hands. We're not in the business of telling people what they have to do. Okay, all right, we're going to the back. Wonderful. Okay, everyone, there are so many colors in this world on the wind. Let's learn to perceive them. The differences, remember, are part of what make us divine. Let's go out and be curious about one another and learn about one another and build bridges. Amen. And blessed be.
collage and paintings. You